Got it.
All right, we got it. We're on
Woohoo.
live Facebook. Welcome everybody to Untethered Talk with Robin and Jen. I'm Jen. She's Robin.
Hi. Are you streaming it on your profile or are you streaming it? Where are you streaming it?
I should be streaming it on my profile. Is it not?
Oh, there it is. I found it. I got it. It took a second to reset. I like to put it up because if someone like comments or something, I can see it.
I appreciate that you do that because I just ignore.
But like commenting in real time actually provides some engagement.
And that's great. That's good, especially for this show.
Right, exactly. I mean, it doesn't so much matter, but
no, it does. And for the show, I think it would be great if it could. So anybody out there who wants to comment, please do.
Someone's already, maybe it's me. It says someone's watching. It's probably me, but
Anywho, Robin, how are you?
I am really good. I am really fantastic. This has been an intense week for so many people, but I have felt like one step removed from it because I'm doing so much work. This work I'm doing. So I feel really good, even though I know there's I feel it on the edges of my periphery of all this intensity.
We just before we hopped on here, we talked about why that is, and we're going to discuss it. And I just have to say, for me, this past week, I'm like, oh, thank God, it's not me just going insane.
Right. I think most of us, anybody I talked to this week really felt that really felt that like there was like a lot up this week.
Or I going said, down.
Yeah, I did some incredibly heavy lifting with some clients. Like I talked a couple of them off the ledge and there was some real intense anxiety this week. So you are not alone in it for sure.
Like that makes you feel better, you know, when you're like okay,
this is part of the collective. It's not just mine.
It's not just mine. It's not just mine. It's not mine. It's everybody's. Okay.
Yeah.
So let's discuss why that's happening and what it means that it's not just mine.
Wow. So why is it happening? There's a whole slew of things that are going on right now, astrologically, energetically, in the global collective. The big one is there's a full moon today. Actually, it happened about a half an hour. It is happening about 1:30 today, 1:34 to be exact. So there's a full moon, and the full moon is also an eclipse. So it's a full eclipse in a full moon, which amplifies the energy of the full moon. That's always what happens with an eclipse. Now, what we had an eclipse 2-ish weeks ago, that was a new moon eclipse, and it happened in Aries as we were shifting signs to Taurus. It was like a big fucking deal 2 weeks ago, and this is the end of that. So this eclipse is about beginnings and endings. That's what this energy, if you look at all the astrological science, we don't need to get into why, but this one is about beginnings and endings. Because it's a full moon, the full moon is all about shedding and releasing and letting go, and we're talking about beginnings and endings. So it's like the culmination of at least the last 2 weeks, but more likely a couple of years of shit, essentially.
So after today, it should be all good.
You got jokes. You're funny. Yep. We are gonna be. It'll be done. Right. We survived it. Yeah. No. No. It's also 5/5. And we're in a 23 year, which is also 5. So we got 555 as a portal, right? And then there's a couple of other things that are going on. So there's like this really magnified energy of 5. And 5 is the number is the bridge. It's the midway point of 1 through 9. It's the bridge of forward and backward, beginning and ending. It's that same, because the 5 has that the bottom has that rocking. So like there's a portal today in the full moon, in the eclipse, the sun's in Taurus, but the moon's in Scorpio. So it's a big, there's a lot of unseen stuff that is falling away and coming to light. And there's you look at any number of stories that are happening in our political world or in the greater political world, to know there is a whole dissolution of major systems happening. And that's also creating all of this anxiety. I What?
So we should probably start, like, that's interesting, because I honestly, since the impeachment, going back a few years now,
Yeah.
not paid attention to the news, because I was like, I can't handle this anymore.
Yeah.
It just blew me out. So I haven't been paying attention to the news. So I'm interested in what actually is going on.
I mean, there's a lot. There's a fight over whether or not we're gonna default on our debt with the debt ceiling. There's a fight. There's a whole slew of things coming out about Supreme Court justices and how they've been bought and paid for by some billionaires. Like,
How did we not know this?
well,
Wait a
because
second, we're just finding this out? We know
yeah,
this.
it's there. There's no oversight of the Supreme Court.
But it's a really great thing that it's coming out. That's fantastic.
Well, that's part of all of it's coming out. There's been a couple of bank failures. I mean, so and more to come, because everything has to fall so that we can rebuild and co-create. But it's creating this feeling of, like, we've been feeling for the past couple of years that, like, we were standing on shifting sands, which was uncomfortable enough. And now the sand feels like it's draining. So now not only do we not have anything to stand on, but shifting sand, now the shifting sand is going away. So it really feels like we have nothing to stand on.
Oh, it's like either the fire pits in Princess Bride, right?
Yeah.
Or like Alice in Wonderland's down the rabbit hole.
Yeah. Both are pretty fair analogies. It also is like you're standing on what, I don't know what game it was. Was it Jungle Pit? That you would stand on a rock and it would start to shake, and you knew that it was like, I think it was Jungle Pit. You had to, like, or Frog, I can't remember. You had to jump across a chasm, and the rock you were standing on would only last for a couple of seconds, and then it would fall, and you had only a couple of seconds to jump to the next rock, and you had to do it and like so that's the energy that we're feeling right now. It's like jump, right? Because the rock is about to fall, and you're going to fall into the chasm or whatever. So it's a big, that's why, your anxiety is your own, and also part of the collectives that we talked about that at the very beginning is everybody's feeling it, and most people don't know what to do with it.
Yeah, I think this could go into a even larger conversation, but let me see. I think it's the concept that you can be feeling something that's not yours. Maybe let's just discuss that a little, because that was new to me. What are you talking about? All this isn't mine.
Wait, I don't have to own everything. So most of us have some degree of empathy. Empathy is the ability to feel what another person feels. Most of us as humans have some degree of it. The more sensitive you are, the more open you are, the more you will be the greater degree of empathy. Okay, kids now have come in with like empathy that's like astronomical, because they came in upgraded. They came in they're different species. But for the most part, humans as a collective have some degree of empathy, but most of us have turned it off. We're not in touch with our own feelings, which means we're definitely not in touch with other people's feelings. And then we don't know what's ours and what's not ours. So we can't distinguish, because it all just feels overwhelming, because none of us is able to access any of our own feelings. So if I'm not accessing my feelings, and you're not accessing your feelings, and everybody around us isn't accessing their feelings, we're all just feeling this like angst and energy, but we don't know what to do with it. And then it just keeps like sending out signals, help, 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 help. And so you're doing it, and I'm doing it, and they're doing it. Like, just to think of 8.5 billion people on the planet. Help, 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 help.
What it feels like. That's what it feels like.
Right? And none of us know what to do with it. It's just creating more vibrations in the collective that are creating more chaos.
Now, it's interesting because up until like I started learning more about this, I thought, okay, yeah, I'm an empathic person, but you would have, like, to me, the idea was that you'd be sitting with someone and talking to them and have, you know what I mean? Like, and you have to kind of have this one-on-one, like, okay, I know what's going on with you, and therefore now I can feel your feelings because I can understand that. But it seems that there's also like this free floating stuff that kind of gets caught.
Well, I mean, whether or not you agree with this, there's only one consciousness. There's no separation.
Mhm.
Like at the energetic level, we're all one.
Mhm.
I mean, science can even prove this with like the wave and the particle theory, right? There's no difference between a wave and a particle except the person looking at it. Right?
Mhm.
So energetically, it's all a vibration. We're all connected. We're all just vibrating at just different frequencies. And so each frequency has its own resonance, and each resonance kind of resonates with another object. It's a lot of, I don't want to get into the science of it, but there's no separation. So you
Mhm.
don't actually have to be with somebody in their physical presence to feel what they're feeling.
Right. Right. Which is another, I mean, okay, this is opening like 500 different conversations, but um because energy, like you said before, you can scientifically, it's like it's at the other end of the universe and it's here at the same time.
Well, exactly. Well, this is like if you, I don't know if you've ever read anything about like chaos theory,
No,
but
I haven't.
chaos theory is like a butterfly flaps its wings in New York and a tsunami happens in Japan because of
Mhm.
the vibrations and frequency that have gone out from it.
Mhm. Mhm.
So it's, I mean, it's a mathematical concept. It's a physics concept. It's also a spiritual and esoteric concept, but there's no distance. There's all frequency all at the same time. So if that's true, and it is, then you can tap into somebody, into the collective energy just by being alive on the planet.
Mhm. Mhm.
If you don't believe that and you don't ascribe to any of this esoteric, there is you know when you have gone someplace and let's say there's tension in the room, you can feel it.
Mhm.
So even if someone just had like I used to know when my parents had a fight because there would still be tension between them.
Mhm.
Okay, right? You can feel it. Or you can go to some place and this place gives me really good vibes or bad vibes, or this person gives me good vibes or bad vibes. Most of us can have sort of had some sort of experience like that. Just magnify that by 8.5 billion people on the planet. That's a pretty intense experience.
Yeah. I mean, like really think about it.
Right.
Like human beings, we started out like there's like at one point like less than 10,000 of us on the planet.
Right.
It's interesting. Okay, I'm gonna put that thought on the other side because it doesn't have anything to do with what we're talking about, and we're gonna continue down this path.
Okay.
Okay. So stuff is up in the collective, anxiety.
Yep.
People are feeling other people's anxiety right now.
Yep. And people are completely ungrounded, untethered, un
In a
there's
bad
no,
way.
in a bad way. Um, like everybody's so first chakra is your root, your tribe, your physical world. And the shadow of the first chakra is fear. How much fear is out there right now in any size sector of the world?
Everywhere. It's like
Exactly.
all there is.
Right. So
There's
so that
something.
fear keeps getting amplified and nobody's tapping into like their roots in Mother Earth, their energy in present time. People are either focused on the past or the future or right. So there's fear and anxiety about stuff we don't have control over, and very few people are grounding. Very few people are plugging into the earth, which will support us, which is designed to hold us. It's designed to be that steady presence that we need to be able to like go forward. Very few people are doing that. So we're all sort of like, I see it as this remember the wacky inflatable waving arms man. Exactly. That's what most people are doing
Yes.
completely unconsciously.
Mhm. But
Com-
yeah, I think a lot, I imagine a lot of people could hear that and relate, like, yeah, that's exactly what is going on in my brain. Like, woo.
right, exactly.
Yeah.
And you feel like you're just sort of at the whims of fate because you have no grounding, you have no force, you have nothing to, right? You're just at the mercy of whatever wind is blowing.
Yeah. No,
Yeah.
that's definitely, I think that's, I would safely say that that's pretty much what everybody is going through right now that seems to be on the planet.
Yeah, I mean that's literally what I have. I haven't personally felt it. I mean I felt it, like I said, I felt it on my periphery,
Right, because you
but I haven't personally felt it.
got your bubble.
Yeah, and I've been doing such amazing work with like Ascension and programming, like and accessing my future self, and doing some really cool stuff that like I'm feeling insulated from it,
Okay.
right? Which
Mm-hmm.
is really cool to be able to see it and know it's there, but not actually feel like I'm witnessing it, but not
Right.
actually
You're not
experiencing it.
you're not lost in it.
Yeah, it's really because then I'm holding space for all of my clients to actually ground, tether, reset, plug in.
Mhm.
I did a healing with a woman the other day, and I literally felt her plug into mother. Like it was like a plug. I watched it like plug in like a plug, and she went and her whole chakra system, her whole energy system lit up. It was really cool, actually. It was
Oh,
mind
that's
blowing.
awesome.
It was mind blowing. It was a really mind blowing healing.
That's
It
so
was super
cool.
cool, actually.
That's really, really cool. So for people out there who are feeling this way, how can we, okay, there's energy management that we've discussed a little bit before. Um, how can people insulate or ground themselves? What should they do in the face of all of this?
I our nervous system is awesome. Like doing any kind of breathing, which I think before, but like an in hold and then exhale. And
You are breaking up. I don't know if it's me or
hold
you.
to end it. Said my intro was that it just said, can you hear me now?
I
How's
just,
this?
that's better.
Is
That's
is that
better.
better?
Yes.
Okay.
Go ahead.
So that's a pretty prime example of what's actually happening. There's disruption happening. There's going on.
Mercury's in retrograde too.
Mercury is in retrograde, right? That's a planet of communication as well. So there's a lot.
Yeah, there's like, it's like I asked you how people can help themselves, and all of a sudden you froze up. You're like, oh, here's how it can. Like the universe doesn't actually
Right.
want people to know.
I think it was I a little bit myself come up, and actually I had grounded into myself again.
Oh, I think I just understood what you said,
Yeah.
but you were breaking up again.
So I might have to switch to my phone. We'll try it. We'll see.
Okay.
So being present within yourself. I mean, that's always a step. Always a step present within yourself. So set your nervous system. Vague breathing, right? So that's hold longer, exhale for even longer than that, and hold at the end of
All right, you're breaking up again.
what I mean. Let me switch. Hold on.
Yeah. I feel like I should be doing a dance for the intermission, like do 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 do. No one's here to laugh, so it's not funny. Take my water. If I were a singer, I would sing, but no one wants to hear that. So I'm just gonna chill and wait for Robin to over to her other phone. For those of you joining us just now, we're talking about how anxiety is up in the collective. Oh no, she can't switch. No. All right. We are having some mercurial difficulties right now. But we were talking about there. Oh, there she is.
I had to shut off my internet on my phone.
Oh.
So whatever's going on, I probably just need to reset my modem. So
All right, we're back. And we're back.
All right. Yes, Mercury is in fact retrograde. So.
So you were saying grounding, and like it was funny because it was like, oh, so what can people do about that? And you're like, well, what they can do is, and then it was like, does the universe want everybody to be freaking out right now? There's no way to fix it.
I mean, in some level, kind of like we do have to feel the discomfort, right? Like we do have to sit in it and stay in it for a little while. That's how we're going to change it. I think you and I have talked about doing like grounding techniques and vagal nerve restimulation. Those are really critical for just resetting your nervous system.
People don't realize exactly what their nervous system does to them.
Right. And our nervous systems have been in fight or flight. I was talking to one client this week where they were saying that the past 3 years were trauma, and we're only just now being like, whoa, that was some trauma. Right?
So, more than that, right? Though, like,
well, yeah, it's been coming for ages, but like the past 3 years, it's been really
COVID.
And, yeah. It's been really
I'm like, because when you say trauma, I'm like, not COVID, Trump. that's where my trauma came in. COVID was fine for me.
And also, his job was to bring up the shadow, which he has done spectacularly. So, but the challenge we run into is that we're still resisting the shadow. We're resisting him. We're resisting his healing, to be honest with you.
Like Trump? Because are we talking about God? We're resisting capital H him and
no,
his healing. Sure.
No. Well, both, yes. Both, yes, and it's both. Nothing happens by accident. Nothing happens that wasn't meant to happen. Nothing.
Okay. All right. I'll accept that. My question then comes in, and this is kind of a different conversation, but where does your co-creation, where does your free will come into that?
You have the free will to decide how do you want to be, react, present in any given moment. How do you want to react to any given situation? That's your free will.
Mm-hmm.
How do you want to deal with it? How do you want to shoot? What choices do you want to make? How do you want to experience the world?
But then what happens is a direct result of your choice, which
you get then. So what happens is you're going along on your path and you come to a fork in the road. You can go left, you can go right. You choose right, and a whole different set of world choices, experiences, a whole different universe springs off from the choice that you've made to the right. If you went left, a whole different other set of choices springs out from that, but that's not yours. You didn't choose it. So you go right, and then you come to another crossroads. You go right again. There's always going to be choices. There's always going to be a choice point. There's always going to be a situation where you have the opportunity to do the right, the hard thing,
mm-hmm.
or take the easy path.
Mm-hmm. Higher vibration and lower vibration.
Exactly. If you choose the lower vibration, you're just going to keep finding yourself in situations where you get to choose again the higher vibration or the lower vibration. It doesn't actually like when I ask this question of my guides just throw their hands up and they're like, you get there when you get there. We don't actually care. Like there's really zero intensity around your choice, because they're like, this lifetime, 6 lifetimes, It really is this like energy. It's
Okay.
like, we don't care.
Okay.
You'll get there. You'll get there when you get there. It's all good. You want to try this again? Wow. Like, and sometimes my guys just like, they do this. They're like, oh, I can't wait to see how this turns out again. Right? You want to do that again? Oh my God, how adorable are you? Do you want to try to do this same thing for the 487th time? I think it's going to work this time.
This is the time. This is it.
This is the one
one.
time it's going to be different. And they really just look at me. And I think all of our ascended selves, guides, higher self, I think they all look at us as these just impossibly adorable kindergarten children who just do stupid shit over and over and over again. And they're just like, oh my God, that's the cutest thing I've ever seen. You're so ridiculous right now. But it's with such love and compassion and affection that they just fucking adore us because we're so silly.
I see that.
Right?
I mean, personally, I never try something that doesn't work twice.
Right. No.
I learned from the first time. So I don't know what you're talking about, but
we've heard from other people that this is true.
From what I understand, there's a rumor going around. Some people tend to repeat actions that don't work.
Right, exactly. So we've now built an entire society around choosing the lower vibration. And all of it, and I do mean all of it, is falling away, which is creating all this anxiety. But to get back to your question about free will, we still have the choice of how we're going to react and how we're going to be, and are we going to choose the lower vibration or the higher vibration. It's just that the stakes are getting higher.
Yeah.
So when you choose resistance now, it's more painful because you can't upgrade to the next level and take this resistance with you. And we are upgrading. That's a foreordained conclusion. We are upgrading.
Nothing you can do about it.
Right? You either swim or you get rushed. You either swim, you float, or you get blown away with the tide. But there's no
right.
Right?
Yeah. I mean, it's happening. It's happening.
That's it's already happened.
Yes. Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. I don't want to talk about how high the stakes are because those are scary.
They aren't really, because there's no so that's the other piece, is that like we as humans have this belief. First of all, we have this belief that there's a finite amount of time, resources, whatever, and that the planet is in
our life on the planet is in danger. The planet and other things that have no absolutely like species and environments and ecosystems, those are in danger. But the planet itself will be here.
Well, and who knows what our life on this like who knows what that actually means, frankly. I think if we ascribe to that, it's more fear and lack and scarcity. So it's more being unplugged from the abundance of the earth.
Mm-hmm.
So it's still perpetuating all the anxiety.
Mm-hmm.
Because first of all, it's not true. And second of all, and this is not like denying climate change. This is not like what I'm saying is like the ship is righting itself.
Okay.
Like the younger generations are like, you did what with the fucking planet? Like what? They're changing. They're to change. They've already come in upgraded, right? And again, nothing happens by accident. So we're facing maybe the consequences of our choices, but that doesn't mean that we're going to blow the planet up. Because that's not what's meant to happen.
No. It's just that, then there's like tornadoes where there never were tornadoes.
There's changes, and we've definitely done a lot of damage to the planet and the environment. We are in the process of correcting that damage.
Some of us. Those responsible for the damage are fighting to keep damage, but whatever. This isn't really the point of this conversation.
But if you go down that rabbit hole and you keep looking at what's not happening and what's not doing and what they're not
and
doing,
all the evil motherfuckers that are doing all the stuff,
you're creating the problem. That's the resistance.
Yep.
Right?
Yeah.
Gandhi said, be the change you wish to see in the world.
Mm-hmm.
And what he meant by that is you hold the light, you be abundance, you be clean, you be caring for humanity, you be the thing you want versus what you don't want in them.
Right.
It's what you're for, not what you're against.
Right. Mm-hmm. That makes sense.
Makes sense?
It can be difficult to keep that in mind when you get swept up into the.
Absolutely. That's why it's so important to come back to yourself, have a relationship with yourself, sit with your own emotions, do the breathing, do the grounding. That's why I've been insulated in my bubble, because I've been focused on kind of nothing but communicating with my soul and my higher self and my future selves. I really haven't, I'm not even focused on the outside world, because I'm solely focused on the part of me that's never been wounded, never been separate, never been anything. And I'm asking my future self, send me any information I need to get from where I am to where you are. So I'm getting it. So I'm not focused on the lack or the scarcity, because I have all this abundance and energy coming into me constantly. I've been doing it since March.
Really cool. So you're focusing on your future self, the ideal, right? Or what's going to be in the future, and asking.
I'm not actually focusing on the future. I'm not. I'm staying in this present moment, because I'm not future oriented. I'm in this present moment. I'm just setting an intention that my future self, because they can't intervene unless we ask them. I'm setting an intention that my future self or my higher self or my soul gives me in this moment the information I need to stay in this moment, to be present, to feel the abundance.
Mm-hmm.
So in this moment, and I'm trusting, I'm not looking for that information. I just kind of trust it's going to come. Okay. The other day I had this really cool experience. Actually, I was deciding, am I going to go forward with the retreat I'm having in September or not? Mm-hmm. And so I woke up that morning, I was like, I have to decide by today. And I was in the bed, I was like, I got to decide. So I just, in 30 seconds, I was like, okay, future self, if I'm supposed to have this, send me the information I need to be able to do this. I don't even think it was an hour later, I got a text from someone that was like, hey, I'm in for your retreat. What do I need to do? And then right after that, I got 2 more people who were like, I'm in for your retreat. What do I need to do? And I was like, message received. I'm going to do this. I don't have to worry about how we're figuring out whatever. That's going to happen. I got the message that I have to take the action to go forward right now. Go when you're called. If you're not quiet enough inside of you to know when you're called, you don't know when to go.
Right.
So that's the kind of stuff I've been marinating in, like I said, since March. So that's how you insulate from it.
That's really interesting. I know that, I've had the notion that, I have to be quiet to listen and listen for the answer or whatever. And I find it frustrating sometimes when I'm like, okay, I'm quiet.
Exactly.
Hello. What's the answer? I'm waiting.
Right. Right. As opposed to just going about your business and letting the answer come.
Got it. Going about my business.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
Okay.
Like the other day, I asked if I'm going to do this, I need an answer. And then I went about my day. I got up, I made breakfast, I did my meditation. I cleaned in my kitchen a little bit. I think I even had a client. Right.
Mhm.
I went about my day. I wasn't looking for anything.
Okay. Cool. All right. See, I think that's an important thing to note, rather than just being like, okay, now what?
Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
I'm listening. But seriously, like that's been my conversation with the universe sometimes. It's like, hello, what do you want me to do?
Sit and fucking stay is what they want you to do.
Right.
That's what we're all being asked to do. Sit and fucking stay. I'll call you when I need you.
Like, yeah, but sit and stay is at the same time, it's almost active, because it is active, because it's like, it's not about being passive. It's about like actually inhabiting the moment.
Right. Fully present in this moment, which is all you have.
Yeah.
Right. If you're in the
Oh my
past,
God, everybody out there, that's an important thing to remember. I mean, it's very clear, and I've known that forever, but at the same time, it's like, I'll get in, easily, and I know other people do too, get into it. Like earlier today, I was in the place with the food.
the supermarket.
Yes. The supermarket where they store the food store. And I was like thinking a million things, and I could hear myself out loud. I'm like, oh my God, like people around here must think I'm crazy, because I'm just going, it's okay. Like, everything's all right. But I mean, I wasn't there. I was thinking about 500 million other things. You know what I mean? And calling yourself back into the moment, that's almost work until you actually get it, at which point it's the easiest thing in the world.
Absolutely. Yes. It's work to get yourself back to the moment, because so many of us are so conditioned to be in the past, ruminating, or worrying about the future, or the what ifs, or what all of it, none of it exists.
Mhm.
And so like the work is staying present when your ego, your monkey mind, your small self wants to leap out. And that takes active work. It takes a lot of discipline.
Yes.
To stay.
Damn it. Doesn't just happen.
No, it doesn't just happen.
And
if you're arguing with reality, it's never happening.
Yeah. It's funny, because I don't like admitting that I'm not doing the right thing all the time. It's not my favorite thing to admit, but
it's not like a right or wrong.
Right. But it's, I just don't, I guess it's not a right or wrong thing, but it's like the higher vibrations, I mean, for lack of a better word, right or wrong, you know what I mean? But
if you see it as a right or wrong, now there's something to be wrong about, which creates more shame and guilt and more resistance and more places for rumination.
Brain. Okay.
Right?
Yeah, no, it's true. So,
and again, there's no wrong choice. There's no wrong answer.
But there's the choice that makes it easier for you and everybody else.
Maybe there's a choice that raises your vibration.
Yeah.
Doesn't always make it easier, but it certainly raises your vibration, which gives you more access to more resources.
Right.
For sure. And like your brain itself, there's a part of your brain called the reticular activating system. You know this about it, right? So the reticular activating system, so of all the like 2 million bits per second of information, like in the infinite universe, 2 billion bits, whatever it is, it's a lot of bits of data that we could have access to at any given moment. Our reticular activating system can only access about like 132 of them. Mm-hmm. Right? So it will focus on what it thinks we want. So when you're focused on the negative, now you see all the negative. It's the principle behind, if you decide you want to buy a red BMW, all of a sudden now you're going to see 15,000 red BMWs because your reticular activating system is like, oh, this is what we want. Look at all these things. When we can retrain our reticular activating system to focus on what we actually want, it will show us more of that. That's how abundance works. That's how the law of attraction works. That's how that's how energetic spirituality works, right? We have to train our reticular activating system to focus on the positive, the abundance, the safety, the belonging, the connection, and whatever it is that we see the lack of. We have to train ourselves to see the good, which is why what's going right, what gratitude. That's why these practices are so important. It's not giving lip service. It's about training your brain to see the possibility.
Of abundance and growth, even if you're not necessarily feeling them, is important to do, because at least you're training your brain.
And there is so much abundance in the world. Like, look, we're in springtime right now. Look at the trees and the abundance of leaves and the flowers and the birds and look at what the earth is providing for us in terms of abundance. Right? Go to the grocery store and look at the infinite abundance in that grocery store.
Much. So much.
It is almost too much. And sometimes grocery stores are like the most painful place to be because there's so much focus on lack and scarcity in the grocery store. And I think it's because there's too much there. It's like overwhelm.
There's just way too much there. but yeah, it's like, yeah.
Right?
Abundance of choice, and you're lost there too. You're like, oh, I've got abundance. Oh, it's too much.
Exactly. Or like, what's working? My electricity, my water, my car. What's working?
Yeah.
Right?
I've got a place to live. I've got food to eat.
My
toes work.
Right.
My toes work. That's great.
And then when you focus on that, you bring more of it to yourself, and now there's not so much anxiety because you're not focusing on what you don't have.
The first time I became aware of the reticular activating reaction formation, the reticular thing.
Yeah.
I became aware of it when I actually just bought my first car, and it was a blue, like a really cool kind of almost electric blue Honda. And I was like, oh, this is awesome. I haven't seen a car like this. I did all this research. I want a Honda. I want this. I go out and I get the Honda, and I'm driving home from getting the car, and I look around, and there's one of the same car in front of me and two of the same car behind me. I'm like, stop.
Yeah.
Only one another of four waiting at this light.
Yep, exactly. That's how it works. They existed before, you just didn't see them.
I didn't see them. And in a way, maybe I called them all to me at that one light, because there was an awful lot of them.
But it doesn't matter. Like it could have been anything. It could have been like a white peony. It could have been a green. Who cares?
We can set our brain to look for something, and it will look for something.
And it will. And its job is to scan the environment and find it.
Exactly. Yes.
So as we're talking about anxiety and the collective angst,
yes,
our reticular activating system is scanning all of data, all of the news, all of the everything to find the things that are the most fearful.
It's so true. And you know what? And your brain also does that into your brain.
Yes.
It's like, oh, I'm scared. What other things am I scared of? Oh, I'm scared of this. I'm scared of that. I'm scared of this. Those are really scary things. I should probably be even more scared than I am right now.
Right. Exactly. And then you get in this like negative constant feedback loop.
Yeah. Okay. So what time is it?
It's about 3.
We're wrapping up there. All right. So anxiety up in the collective, full moon eclipse today / tonight. When's the eclipse part of it? Because
it happened. It all sort of happened at the same time, but we'll see it tonight.
We'll see. Okay.
Yeah. It's a great time for shedding. It's a really good time for letting go of, things that don't serve you anymore. Like it's
So what-
it's like so amplified right now to get rid of the shit that's not serving you anymore.
So maybe people could like write down the shit that's not serving them anymore and like go outside and
Absolutely.
burn it or something.
Yes. Just
Burn.
set the intention that you want to release things that aren't of your highest vibration. Set
Mhm.
the intention that you want to release fear, lack, scarcity, whatever. Set the intention that you want to let go of limiting beliefs about what you can do or you're supposed to do or are allowed to receive. Like set limitations on what a good person is or beliefs around what feminine is or masculine. I don't care. Whatever it is that you don't want to take with you anymore, let it go. Write it down, burn it, put it in like running water, take a shower. It doesn't matter. Just set the intention that you're like shedding it.
I love it. So that's a great piece of advice, I think, letting people on with, and then also look for the good things.
Right. What's going right? Ask yourself what's going right. You will find things. The more you do it, the easier it is.
All right. Awesome. I think this is a good call. This is a good one today. I'm happy about it.
Fantastic.
All right, everybody. Thank you so much for tuning in. And we'll
Bye,
see you.
everybody.
Bye.